A mother elephant gently strokes her calf's tusks and trunk before it dies. The calf falls down on its knees, but the mother still tries to wake it up. But when she realizes that her baby is really dead, she starts trumpeting and screaming hysterically. This elephant simply can't believe that her baby has died. She doesn't want to accept this reality, and in order to confirm this sad fact, she even nudges her calf to see if there's any reaction, but there isn't. The elephant calf is really dead. This heartbreaking scene took place in the Kenyan wilderness. But why did the mother elephant behave this way? And most importantly, do elephants really mourn their dead? To find out more about this, we went to experts. The thing is that elephants are unique animals, not only because they have large ears and tusks, but also because they have the ability to experience grief just like us humans. In fact, elephants are the only animals who show signs of mourning. So what exactly is going on in the mind of an elephant when it sees another elephant die? Well, let's take a look at this elephant. At first, it seems that she doesn't realize what's happening. However, after touching her calf, the elephant begins to panic. You can tell this by the movement of her ears, which rotate quickly from side to side. Also, the elephant moves her upper lip, revealing her gums. These are all signs of distress in elephants. Moreover, the mother of the deceased calf continues to stroke him, trying to wake him up. Elephants can be unresponsive during illness or injury, and the mother probably thought that if she kept stroking her calf, he would come back to life. Elephants feel grief similarly to how humans do, and this is reflected in their behavior. When an elephant is seriously injured or close to death, other elephants try to help him. They touch the sick elephant with their tusks and trunks, trying to bring him back to life. Sometimes these attempts are successful. The thing is that sometimes elephants fall and can't get up due to their own weight. Then the other elephants lift them up with their tusks and help them to get on their feet. So that's exactly what the mother elephant tried to do in this case. But unfortunately, she couldn't save her calf. After realizing this, she becomes hysterical and starts trumpeting loudly, shaking her head and swinging her torso. In the wild, such sounds carry over several miles and can be heard up to 6 kilometers away. There's nothing else like this in the animal world. Only elephants make such sounds during mourning. Even giraffes, whose cries can be heard up to 10 kilometers away, don't sound like elephants when they grieve. This is because giraffes simply don't have vocal cords to produce such sounds. By the way, even though an elephant's trumpeting can be heard many kilometers away, scientists say that each elephant can hear only its own sounds. All other elephants' voices are too quiet to reach them. But why do elephants need to mourn? Elephants have been observed to display unusual behavior after the death of another elephant. For example, they try to wake the dead with their tusks and feet, nudge and push the corpse with their tusks, and even caress it with their trunks. In some cases, they try to raise a dead elephant with their tusks. It's hard to say where these actions come from, but one thing is clear. Elephants don't eat their dead. And although the hyenas and vultures are eager to feast on the elephant carcass, the living elephants drive them away. Living elephants don't allow scavengers to get close to the dead. When an elephant dies, it attracts a lot of predators, especially hyenas. They don't wait until the carcass is completely decomposed and eat the elephant right along with its skin, while the rest of the scavengers fly around waiting for the hyenas to leave. But living elephants never allow this. A group of living elephants drives the hyenas away from the dead body, although they themselves don't touch the corpse. In general, elephants treat dead bodies very respectfully, almost like they understand that the dead must be treated differently than the living. In fact, elephants can even mourn a dead elephant they didn't know. In 2012, Cynthia Moss witnessed a strange event while filming elephants in Kenya. One day she saw a group of elephants surrounding a dead calf. The calf was about 2 years old, but somehow it managed to get separated from the herd. Cynthia found this calf near a dried-up watering hole. The calf must have died of thirst. Most likely, the little elephant simply wandered away from the herd and couldn't find his way back. That's when Cynthia noticed that the elephants surrounding the calf were showing signs of grief, which meant two things. Either the elephants knew that the calf was missing from the herd, or they could sense that something had happened to him. Since then, Cynthia has often seen adult elephants behaving strangely in areas where calves have strayed from the herd and died. Perhaps adult elephants have a sixth sense for danger and can feel when something bad happens to a young elephant. Or maybe they just see the dead calf and try to figure out what happened to him. Scientists believe that elephants mourn not only when they see a dead elephant, but also when they smell the corpse. And no, I don't mean recently dead elephants. Elephants can mourn their relatives who died long ago. Scientists conducted an experiment in which they used frozen elephant dung. The researchers wanted to find out how elephants react to the smell of their dead relatives. It turned out that elephants recognize the smell of dead elephants and react to it accordingly. Moreover, female elephants are more likely to show signs of mourning than males. Apparently, this is due to the fact that females spend much more time with their offspring, and when they lose a calf, they miss it very much. Males, on the other hand, are are less likely to develop affection for a particular calf, but they still mourn when they see a dead elephant. Scientists believe that mourning behavior is a sign of intelligence and self-awareness in elephants. It turns out that elephants grieve not only for other elephants, but also for their caretakers. Yes, elephants can even develop affection for their caretakers. Scientists believe that elephants can recognize themselves in the mirror. Perhaps this means that elephants have some idea that they exist as individuals, separate from other elephants. What do you think? Do elephants really recognize themselves in the mirror? Let me know in the comments. If an elephant likes its caretaker, it will spend a lot of time with him, touching and caressing him with its trunk. In turn, the caretaker will scratch the elephant behind the ear, which is very important for the elephant. Trunk is an elephant's favorite part of the body, and it's also very sensitive. The elephant's trunk has many receptors that respond to touch. Therefore, if someone scratches an elephant behind the ear, it will experience real pleasure. If an elephant dislikes a particular person, it will avoid him and stay away. However, elephants never develop aggression towards their caretakers. Even if an elephant is very angry, it will never attack a person unless it feels real danger. Elephants respect humans if they treat them respectfully. But if a person behaves aggressively towards elephants, they may become aggressive in response. An elephant can easily kill a human, but they choose not to do so. That's because elephants are smart enough to understand that people can cause them much more harm than good. And elephants value their lives. Sometimes elephants' affection for their caretakers goes beyond friendship. For example, an elephant can become attached to its caretaker's dog. Anecdotes about elephants' affection for dogs are very common in Thailand. Thai elephants are known to be very friendly and affectionate, and this is largely due to the attitude of the locals towards these animals. They treat elephants almost like pets, playing with them and talking to them. It's believed that elephants in Thailand are the happiest in the world. Many stories have been told about Thai elephants falling in love with their caretakers' dogs. Often an elephant develops affection for a particular dog and wants to be around him all the time. Sometimes elephants develop affection not only for living beings, but also for inanimate objects. In 1987, zoo workers in Philadelphia were surprised to see an elephant trying to lift a zoo visitor's briefcase. The elephant was attracted by the briefcase. Because it resembled an antelope, the animal the elephant liked to eat. Elephants never forget the taste of meat. Although they're herbivores, elephants' distant ancestors were carnivores. And this is reflected in the elephant's modern behavior. Elephants sometimes try to catch and eat antelopes, monkeys, zebras, and other herbivorous mammals. But elephants aren't always successful in hunting, and in some cases, the elephant's prey manages to escape. Maybe that's exactly what happened to the antelope that became the victim of the Philadelphia Zoo elephant. The elephant simply saw a briefcase and decided that it was an antelope that had managed to escape. In fact, elephants are very emotional animals. When they're happy, they become even happier. When they're sad, they become even sadder. When an elephant is frightened, it's very difficult to calm it down. And if you anger an elephant, it will remain angry for a long time. But anyway, elephants are social animals and they really need each other. An elephant can live up to 70 years, and during its long life, it has time to have many children and grandchildren. For an elephant, family is very important. That's why when a mother elephant loses her calf, she grieves for a long time, and her grief can last for several months. It's hard to imagine an elephant forgetting the face of her calf, because elephants have excellent memory. An elephant can remember the faces of up to 100 individuals, and they can recognize these individuals even after many years. Elephants use their excellent memory to navigate in space. Every elephant has its own route along which it moves from place to place. Elephants travel many kilometers every day in search of food and water, and it's very important for them to know the terrain well. Elephants also use their excellent memory to remember where they met a lion or a leopard. Elephants communicate with each other using sounds, movements, and smells. But visual communication plays an important role in the life of elephants. Elephants use gestures to communicate with each other. Each gesture means something specific. For example, an elephant lifts its trunk up and down when it's greeting another elephant. If an elephant lowers its ears, it means that it's angry. And if an elephant swings its ears, it means that it's hot. As you can see, elephants don't just swing their ears because they're bored. Every movement of an elephant has a deep meaning, but perhaps the most interesting thing about elephants is their ability to empathize. When an elephant sees another elephant in pain, it comes to the rescue. Once scientists watched a young elephant stuck in mud. The elephant was making desperate attempts to free itself, but it was too stuck. At some point, the elephant began to panic and trumpet loudly. Soon, a group of adult elephants came running. They pulled the calf out of the mud and helped it to get on its feet. Elephants show empathy not only towards their relatives, but also towards other animals. Sometimes elephants see a wounded animal and stop to help it. If the animal is small enough, the elephant simply picks it up with its trunk and puts it somewhere safe. There are many interesting facts about elephants, and we'll tell you more about them in our videos. So don't forget to subscribe so you don't miss them. See you later.